Today we're doing a little bit of a different video for the YouTube channel. So essentially guys, this is something that's been on my mind for a while, and I want you guys to be a little bit ready just in case if something does happen. I'm going to talk here a little bit in code for YouTube purposes, just because I understand censorship is like really bad. It's the worst it's ever been in, like, honestly, I think in history. The other thing is, just be aware that possibility of WWE, that's a highly possibility that could happen just because of this conflict that's kind of happening. It still hasn't ended. There should have just been some sort of like an agreement just to end it, but from what I've seen, it keeps on going. It's like, okay, well, why are we continuing it? Why aren't we trying to figure out a solution to end it? Anyways, the other thing I want you guys to be aware of is AI. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where it does become like Terminator. That's a real possibility. Not saying it's going to happen, but when you have so many scenarios of certain little things happen, there's other things like you can have, where they shut down things. I think it's like the hacking or whatever like that. You have the possibility of that happening, and that can just send things in just a chaotic direction, and I want you guys to be aware of it. The other thing is basically what happened in 2020, you guys should know. I'm talking vaguely there, but you can have an increased, stronger version of that, of 2020, and it should worry you to some certain extent, but you can't protect it. You can't plan for every single scenario, and I just want you guys to be aware, eventually something is bound to stick and happen, and I just want you guys to be ready in the best possible position. So if you guys don't know your threes, so pretty much it's 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without heat, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. So obviously the 3 minutes, that's a short amount of time. You can't really do anything about that. The 3 hours, you guys should be have enough clothing just to stay warm. I wouldn't worry too much about that. But the 3 days without water, when you honestly think about it, let's say something was to happen, you don't have water, what are you gonna do? What's your backup plan? I recommend you guys at least get a life straw. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. You can just get a basic generic version. I don't really care what brand it is or whatever, but I would recommend you guys get that. It's real cheap, it's useful, and it lasts a long time. It shouldn't go bad. On top of that, it can filter out a lot of water, and the reason I recommend that is because, like I said, you should know your threes. So your 3 days without water, all you got to do is just find a water source and you'll be fine. You'll be better than the vast majority of people. Of course, it's not going to be the best tasting water, but you guys should be fine there. The other thing is, you guys should have some basic stockpile of food, just so you're not starving or hungry, just in case, like, oh, okay, well, there's a food shortage. That's another possibility of something actually happening, which if you start noticing a bunch of these plants, I'm not going to go too much in depth on it in this video. I just want you guys to be informed as to all the possibilities and just be a basic prepared as best as possible. So essentially, if there's a food shortage, well, guess what? You guys got food there. You guys should be fine. So, like, honestly, one of the best things you guys can do is buy some of that dry food that you just add water, and you guys will be fine. Honestly, I would just recommend you guys get like maybe a month's supply, 2 months supply. Obviously, the more the better. Of course, it does last like 25 years. I haven't tried eating it. It's probably something that doesn't taste the best, and I would just leave it to a scenario where it's like, okay, well, I kind of have to eat this. So yeah, I just want you guys to be informed as to what's going on in the world, just giving you guys a little bit of possibilities, but eventually one of them is bound to stick. It's just a matter of time. It's like, I just want you guys to be aware of it. Don't be afraid. And I know some of you guys out there are really religious, and I do understand, and I know in the book, talking in code here obviously, essentially the big guy says he's going to provide for the birds. As well, he mentions that he provides for the birds, and wouldn't he provide for you? So I understand that part. Like, yeah, you don't need to worry about it too much, but then again, you guys also need to take action into your own hands, because You want to make sure you're prepared and in the best possible position, that you have stuff for yourself and you're able to take care of yourself and the ones that you love. So essentially, this is just an advice video. Just, hey, get some food, make sure you guys have a little bit extra food, and then get a life straw and maybe a case of water. Maybe you guys will use it, maybe you guys won't. It's just better to have it than to not have it. That's the way I would look at it. Is I would much rather have it and not use it than to not have it and need it. So it's up to you guys to make that decision. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll go ahead and catch you guys in the next one.